Hey guys, Mark from Gunpla Network. Well, hot on the heels, I guess, of that Master Grade Gundam Dynames announcement, I'm reviewing the HG Dynames 1/144 scale. Complete coincidence on the timing, though. I actually hadn't. I had this one planned for a while. I bought this months ago and just had it sitting on the shelf, and it felt like the right kind of time to do it between newer kits I'm waiting for to be available in the country and get a hold of. So yeah, it just happened to be great timing, though. Obviously a sign I should review, and then the announcement came up and I was already midway through building, and you'll notice my kit is not a standard. I've repainted a couple of slight mods, which I'll point out, and some water slide decals. So yeah, let's get to it. So overall look. The overall look of the standard kit was actually not too bad. Obviously the green here, I've got a more militaristic khaki green, and I'll show you the photo here from the overall back picture there. Green, it's more of a brighter green, I guess you would say, and there was nothing wrong with that. I just I wanted a more realistic sniper look, and for myself, when I was looking at it, I'm like, well, why would you not have black on a sniper? They're meant to blend in, hide, and not everything's going to be green or white. So I've gone for the white looking parts are actually a neutral grey by Scale Modeler Supply. The black is just a Mr. Color flat black. The green is Mr. Color khaki, and the grey on here was just a Tamiya sky grey enamel that I had. The yellow was a custom mix of a few different paints I had here just to get a darker looking yellow. The red was a wine red over the yellow from SMS as well, which is a lacquer, but I didn't spray it. That was a really annoying part on the V-fin and the chin, so I just touched those with a paintbrush. And yeah, that was pretty much most of the colours. Now, you'll notice on the rifle as well, obviously I painted that, which will flick out. So you'll see in there, or you would have noticed from the first look pictures, that is just some chrome silver in there and around the band on the scope, and on top of the barrel receiver there, and some dark copper that I had. The frame of the Gundam is SMS gunmetal, and that's the colors I used. I just thought gave it a more realistic look. So overall look, my painted kit, I'm going to say, would be a 9 out of 10. I'm biased there. I think this is one of the better paint jobs I've managed to pull off. And for the standard look, you can see there in the background, I'm going to say it's probably an 8 out of 10. It's pretty good. It's anime accurate, I would say. Probably that green is a little lighter than it should be, hence why I went for a khaki green. But other than that, the rest of the colours, the greys, whites, yellows, were pretty accurate, so pretty good there. Stickers, there were, well, not quite a few, but a few, and I'll show you those there. So these are the ones that you would put on the leg and shin, which I used a lighter sky grey for. That's actually a more like a purpley grey. In the GN drives, they're meant to be black, but I used green. That's for the scope. And the other greys are just some stickers around the GN drive, etc., which I used water slides that I had kicking around from my RGX for. So yeah, okay. Build process. It was a pretty fun build overall. Not too lengthy, pretty simple. Yeah, it was pretty fun. So I'd say that on that note there, it was pretty good. So we'll get an 8 out of 9. Onto the articulation and posing. So you would have seen in the first look videos, I tried to pull off all the poses that were in the book, or a couple from the anime. It was a little hard around the legs, getting it to pose down, but I got it. Getting it to hold the rifle with the flip out handle, a little harder, but can be done. And obviously this piece, which flips down to give you the V-fin. So the hidden V-fin, I should say. Cool little gimmick. Alright, so head. The head will go back, forth, give you a little bit of a rock side to side. It won't turn fully around because of the fins on the neck part there and the parts that hold those in. Part of the shoulders, I guess. Alright. So the articulation, the wings, you can move those on the built-in part of the joint of the shoulder there. You get those. Tell you when you have the full GN shield in effect, instead of just the standard side shield that you see at the start of the anime before he gets his upgrades. The arms can go all the way around. They're just on a peg. They can go up, down, a bit of sigs there, pull forward there. The actual arm bend, once you move the GN shield out of the way, can go up, and the more you go up, you see this ribbon, the cable for the GN feed, I guess, the power, it goes down into the forearm, but it stops before it gets to exposing the inner frame there, which isn't really much, and it just feeds back down into the elbow, which I thought was a really cool gimmick for an older early 2000s HG. So unfortunately the cockpit doesn't open, but if I was to take off the hatch and show you underneath there, that's the a clear piece over the top. Now that was meant to be black, but I had, like I said, some stickers left over from my RG kit, so I decided to use that because, as we know, GN drives typically are green particles. So I also use those on the side of the arm. The wrist doesn't have much in the way of articulation, it's just the standard movement you can get there. Let's take the rifle out. Okay. Front skirts, you can cut the centerpiece as usual, like on most HGs, and get individual movement out of those, which is much cooler to do. I kind of scribe the edge lines and the center lines there a little bit more myself, just FYI, in case you get one that doesn't look like that. Wasn't too hard overall. The legs won't move very far if you don't move that out of the way first, because the knee has a big guard on it, which will catch. So can go up. You'll hit these obviously at the back, which have their own little articulation, so let's move that out of the way. The back thrusters up there, and then up there and around, so there's pretty good movement on the knee joint. Let's go back to the front. Let's kick these up there, and then it's a standard ball joint on the ankle, and there is a bit of movement on the ankle guard to allow you to kick that forward. The legs they're just on a ball joint themselves, so they will tilt out and back a little, but not too far. Otherwise they will pop off. The back thrusters will go up and down, but they don't really do any side to side or anything like that. Sorry, on the waist movement as well, we can spin around, but obviously you'll hit the back thrusters with the GN shield if you go too far, and there is a little bit of back and forth. Good articulation and posing. I was giving that a 9 out of 10, just because I could get it into so many sniper poses, and it just made it look really cool. I love this kit. Fun factor. Oh, sorry, I've skipped one. Accessories. Back to the accessories. So because it's a HG and Gundam OO is pretty minimalistic. You get the 2 closed hands. You get a open left hand to support the rifle. The rifle comes with 2 stands, a closed stand or a open stand to allow for sniping poses on the ground or on a wall, something like that. The rifle itself is a cap at the end, squeezed together down the middle, and a sticker for the scope. You can paint it up decal like I did, as you can see here. So all I did was paint in that and wipe over the excess paint that came out of the I guess heat relief holes on the bolt. I guess there I've just added in the copper color to distinguish it. Now the rifle itself, all I did to do that was I took some of these, if I have them handy, yes, You can find these at like your craft store. Adhesive rhinestones. You can use these for weapons, mono eyes, etc. Stuff like that. So I've got like a dark blue and a light blue. I've got some red ones as well. And all I did was I took a drill bit for my pin vise, drilled that out a little, and then sat a couple of those rhinestones back in there, one behind to support the other one. And that's what gave it the scope look. Also on Dynames, you'll notice the visor drops down. Now that was just meant to be a sticker up in there, but the rhinestone in the smallest one that I had actually fit into the hole, luckily, so I painted the V-fin yellow, the red bits at the front, that's actually black at the back, so it's all separately hand painted after the initial spray painting, and then just drop that in. It's not as time consuming as you think, guys. I really only had to mask off for the red bits there, and then just was very careful putting the black on and putting the rhinestone out, put a drop of glue behind it to keep that in. And there you go, a much nicer looking Dynames look there. So, in terms of the accessories, the rifle is really cool, very anime accurate. So I gave the accessories an 8 out of 10. The only thing that could have upped the accessories factor there was if they'd included, because you get the GN full armor look, if they'd actually included the pistols, the GN pistols that he has as his backup. So one thing though I won't forget, you didn't see him posing with beam sabers. These beam sabers actually detach out of the back skirt slash thruster piece. The problem is you actually don't get any of the flat beam saber style part that's just popped off. There you go. They're very flat. It just slides into that casing. That's his beam saber holding spot. So you do get beam sabers, but you do not get beam saber effect parts. And I mean, Lockon Stratos doesn't use them in the anime really. Once or twice he's forced to when someone gets too close, but other than that, he's the long range guy. So, fun factor, it was a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed building this kit. I actually enjoyed painting it. I didn't have to seam line really, not that they aren't there, but I just, figured they looked okay. They weren't really a massive issue like on some HG kits. So 9 out of 10 for that. Final score, 8.4 out of 10. So pretty high for a high grade, and an older one too. It's not like a this year or last year or anything. So yeah, in terms of leftovers, there was nothing. There was 2 polycaps, which will go into the polycap collection for next time. So one other big thing to point out was, you would have noticed in the first look, I didn't have to put this up on an action base. It was quite stable and happy on its own, spinning around, no issues. So that was really cool as well. Alright guys, thank you very, very, very much for joining me for this review, and hopefully you enjoyed it. And I'll be back with another one shortly. Alright, thanks for joining. Bye bye.